America. K-Town.
Yeah!
And the Brazilians over here to the bank. My name is Bryan, and I am a professional network marketer.
Yeah!
What does that mean? I didn't always start off as a professional network marketer. I started off like a lot of people. I grew up in a small town in Louisiana. There we go. I was, no, not quite, but 17 years old, just got out of high school. Never heard of network marketing. Got invited to a business meeting from a friend of mine who was 16 years old, was an aspiring magician. And he calls me up and he says, Bryan, I want you to come to this business meeting. I was like, all right, I'll go. And I wasn't voted Mr. Likely to succeed in high school or anything like that. And I showed up and I didn't have a car. He didn't have a car. His parents picked us up. And I remember looking over and thinking, that's the first time I've ever seen Mike in a suit. In fact, his dad's in a suit. Even his mom was wearing a suit. I remember walking down this long hall, and this is 1993, so this is 21 years ago. So walking down this long hall, and I could hear this music playing out in the distance. It was Eye of the Tiger. Now, Eye of the Tiger was already old in 1993, right? I was like, oh, Eye of the Tiger. So I'm walking down the hall, and I know there's just like one door left, and that's where all the music's coming from. And I open up the door, and it's a room not quite this big, but maybe a third of it is, several hundred people there. And immediately, like, they bum rush me, they bring me over, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, and I'm sitting in the back, and I'm just like, what is going on? Halfway through, I still don't know what's going on. And anyway, I won't go through that whole story because we got a short time, but I ended up joining that business. And so for 2 years, I did things the wrong way. As I kind of say, I go to a meeting, I get pumped up, listen to these tapes, listen to Eye of the Tiger 10 times, and I run out and try to tell my friends how excited I am. And I'm hyping them up. I've got no principles, no leadership, and so for 2 years, I made no money. In 1995, I was fortunate to find a mentor. This guy was a multimillionaire. He was a professional. He grabbed me. He says, listen, Bryan. He goes, this is not get rich quick. This is not luck. He says, give me 5 years and I'll teach you this profession. That was completely different than the way anyone else had ever approached me. And I said, yeah. Before my 20th birthday, I had a 6-figure income, and I've been doing this full-time ever since. So for 19 years in a row.
Yeah! Woo!
I've been a professional. It was interesting because some of the lessons that he taught me in the beginning, one of the very first things is he said, professional, and he made a difference. He says, Bryan, there are people that make a full-time income in network marketing, yet they're not a professional. I said, well, what do you mean? They might make even 6 or 7 figures. I thought, well, how is that even possible? He goes, well, a professional, not only can they make money for themselves, but they can also teach their people how to make money. They can duplicate it. And more importantly, heaven forbid, if the company ever goes anywhere, they can go and do it again. And so for my whole career, I've seen people that make a huge amount of money, something happens to their company, they can never recreate it. 10 companies later, they're still trying to get what they call lightning in a bottle at one time. And professionals I've seen do it over and over again. And one of the principles he told me early on was don't hype and don't lie. He says don't build through hype, because if you build through hype and not principles, you have to keep hyping. For instance, any of you ever heard this? Hopefully no one in here I'm sure said it, but hey, just get in, I'll do everything for you. I'll give you 3. I'll build you to F3. Look, people call me up. They're like, Bryan, look, I know you're involved in something else, but man, if you just get in, we'll do everything for you. I'm like, oh, really? Everything? Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, how many times can I sign up? What do you mean? I was like, well, I'd like to get like 10 spots. Well, how much can I expect to make? I just want, here's with a check, I want it to go, and I'm not going to do anything. They're like, well, we're not really quite saying that. I mean, you're going to have to do something. I was like, look, so what you're doing is you're hyping me in to the business. If you sell your business on promises and not principles, that's what you're going to get. Anybody have someone that was making money 4 or 5 months ago that's not here now, that's off somewhere else? That ever happened to anybody?
Yeah.
Chances are they weren't building through principles, they were building through hype. They were making open promises. I'll give you a leg, I'll do this, I'll do this. Listen, when is the truth never been good enough? We have a phenomenal opportunity. Guess what? It's going to take some time, it's going to take some work. Something that I teach is called the Golden Rules. This is my philosophy on this industry of network marketing. And that is, I know and I believe that if I do this business in the correct way, on a consistent basis, and I do it for a long enough period of time, I will achieve whatever success I want. Now, whatever I want, it just means I might have to do it longer. I'm not setting a time frame on it. I'm not saying giving it 6 months or this. That's how a professional approaches this. I'm going to go through this real quick. Doing the business correctly. Those are the things we do every day. How many of y'all bring someone into the business and never talk to them again and wonder why they fell out? Or you call them up, hey, yeah, you got your why, and you know this, and make your list, and then, hey, I just set some meetings up for me. And a month later, they're like, you know, things just aren't, I got busy with school and this, and it's like, they're off. You didn't actually take any time with them. And somebody told me the other day, they're like, Bryan, I want to build slow and build fast, but man, I don't want to build slow. I mean, I got to make some money. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. I'm not trying to build slow either. There's only one way you can build fast, and that is by building slow, because everything else is a fantasy. You have to build.
Yeah.
You have to take time. The power in network marketing is in duplication. It's in geometric progression. It's not in you bringing 1,000, it's in 1,000 bringing 1 or 2, and doing it on a consistent basis. That's how you build these massive organizations. How many people do you think the average person signs up in network marketing? 0. The average person does nothing. Somebody that actually does something, it's like 2.3 or something like that. So most people aren't going to do anything. What I've tried to do is figure out, how do I bring that up? So when you do the business correctly, when you bring someone in, take a few minutes with them. Sit down with them. Hey, let's sit down, get your whys. Let's get your list. You ever see someone that they want something, but they're not doing anything? How many times does somebody says, oh, they're burned, oh, they're this, oh, they're not going to... No, they're not. What, you think they don't have their hopes and dreams anymore? No, they just don't know what to do. Where a lot of us are the 1%ers. We take for granted that this person can't call up their cousin and just say, can you sit down and look at something? Sometimes you have to say, hey, what's holding you back? You haven't brought anyone in? Well, I'm busy. Say, look, do you have your list? Let's sit down with you. Who's your best 5 years? Who's your cousin? I thought you said he was great. Well, how would I call him? Anybody think, that's dumb, how do you... But you know what? That's how the majority of the world is. Why do you think most people are afraid of network marketing? Because they're afraid of those simple things. But you take a few minutes and, hey, let's role play. Hey, here's this, and you call me up and act like your cousin and this, and they realize, wow, this is really simple. You're taking time. What about your products? These guys have the facts. The number, when people are using 2 products on a monthly basis, they do not quit this company. But yet we have a lot of people that quit. When you're bringing someone in, take some time. Set them up on some products. Start teaching them a few things. Building slow to build fast and helping do things correctly in the beginning is simply that. It's about taking the correct actions. Second is consistent. Yes, some of us are full-time, but 99.9% of your business are not going to be full-time. They're going to be part-time. So they're not going to be able to do the things that you do, and they're going to be intimidated by the things that you do. You have to be able to help them find out what works for them and help them do it on a consistent basis. So they're going to need to know what they do. And if you start doing things consistently, that's probably one of the hardest things that a person can do in this business. And last is long enough. Long enough to me is a mindset. I love what Eric talked about. I love what so many people talked about it. It's been phenomenal. But the biggest thing that I see is people compare themselves to other people, or they compare themselves to where they're not. I know people that are F4, F5, F6 that are complaining that they're not this rank or this rank. They're sad. I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, at F4, you're making what the average working person makes in the United States. You're making 4 times more a month, 5 times more a month than what the average person makes working in the entire world. Don't compare yourself to where you're not. Don't worry about looking at this and saying, okay, I wish I was over here. Why isn't it working faster? This is a race. I know YG talked about a race. This is great. This is a race that everybody can win. It isn't like, well, this dude crossed the finish line, and so that's it, no one else crosses. Everybody can go. And what if it takes you 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years? Who cares? As long as you're doing those correct actions, you're doing them on a consistent basis, you do it long enough, you're going to get there. When you bring someone in, how you set their mindset is important. I wish I had an hour to talk about this, but how you set their mindset is important. If you're setting them up, 3 minutes free or all this other stuff, or just, get in and do this, and if you're setting them up as a short-term thing, then they're going to think, oh, it didn't work the way they said, so it's going to be short-term. But if you bring them in, hey, it's going to take some time, it's going to take some work, but we're going to work it together, we're going to grow it, they're going to get support, what's going to happen is they're going to start thinking, well, he never said it was going to take 60 days. It doesn't matter what this person's doing over here. I know for me, this is my path. So I got about 30 seconds here. I'm in a unique spot with this business. The fact that I live here and I've consulted some for the company, and I've been able to travel around these different places and spend a lot of time with the management team. I'm telling you, I would not be here if it was not everything that you see and more. You're seeing right now a snapshot of what this company has planned. They're already talking about, what about this product, we're on this product. There's so many things that are going. This is literally the beginning, and that's how I feel like. We're literally sitting right now at the beginning of something, and we're here for whatever reason. So take advantage of it. Let's squander the opportunity. Thank you all so much. Have a good night.
Yeah!
Build slow to build fast. Sometimes think the greatest wisdoms in life are simple, are they not? I didn't say simplistic, I said simple. All right, before I bring out our